Huh. Okay. So this right here is actually very important because these are your rights that you have to be aware of before you buy a product. Because right now, Gamers Nexus is on trending, and I'm really happy because people have a chance to see how big companies are trying to weasel their way around and out of warranties when their products are faulty, with very deceptive practices when it comes to policies with the RMAs, and that's really uncool to see because, well, we spend our hard-earned money, and I don't want to see those money being thrown out the window because some manufacturer has a faulty product that doesn't want to repair on its own accord. And that's why I think right now it's really important that you are aware of what rights you have and what exactly you can do whenever you are facing maybe a similar situation. Of course, this video is not going to cover all the countries in the world, but what you must be made aware of is that rules are evidently implemented in all the countries. So as long as the manufacturer is taking his time to sell a product on your local market, then definitely he has to abide by the general rules. And these rules can include and are not limited to safety of the product and of course to RMAs. So do your own diligence if your country is not on this list, and then definitely find out what you can do in similar cases like, with Gamers Nexus. Alright, so starting off with the consumer guarantees. Well, if you are a European Union citizen, in my opinion at least, or my humble opinion, I think that you have a bit more rights than the US. I'm not really sure how things are sitting in the rest of the world, but definitely that's why I encourage you to look up your local rules, because I don't want you to let manufacturers off the hook. Now, a fundamental right of us as citizens in the European Union is that we can return any product within 14 days as long as it is not bought from a physical brick and mortar store. So let's see what the article says. When you sell a good or a service to a consumer online or via other means of distance communication, by telephone, mail, or order, or outside a shop, so as I've said, outside a brick and mortar shop, from a door-to-door salesperson, the consumer has the right to return the item or cancel the service within 14 days. So this also applies to services alongside with physical products. You definitely have to be made aware of that 14 days is the golden rule for you, and you can definitely return any such product that was bought via, I don't know, let's say the internet. As a short side note, this had happened to me when I bought a brand new motherboard that came dead on arrival, and after sitting on my desk for a few days and trying to install it into brand new PC for a review on this channel, I found out that one of the headers had a short on it. I did went through this troubleshooting of trying to find out how I can save it, and I couldn't. And after realizing that it is not my fault and it was just a faulty product, I just gave it back. I didn't explain to them that it was faulty. I didn't explain to them that I want an RMA. I didn't want it to be fixed. I didn't want it to be swapped out for another one. I just wanted to get rid of it and get my money back for it, which is exactly what happened. Nobody asked me any questions. They just got it back, and that was the end of the deal. Alright, so coming back on track here, this is sometimes referred to as the cooling off period or the withdrawal period. So no reason or justification has to be given by the consumer. As I've mentioned, I didn't tell them anything, I just gave them back their motherboard, and that was the end of that. So EU laws also stipulate that you must give the consumers a minimum of 2-year guarantee, legal guarantee, as a protection against faulty goods or goods that don't look or work as advertised. In some countries, national laws may require you to provide longer guarantees. So what you must understand is that the EU basically serves all the country a general guideline that they must abide by, but if a country, let's say Romania, which is my country, wants to apply a stricter terms and conditions for a manufacturer in order to sell their product on the local market, they can definitely do so. So instead of the 2-year guarantee, if Romania would want a 3-year guarantee for every product sold on the local market, they can ask this for the manufacturer as a standard, so they can't sell their products on the local markets unless they meet the criteria, which is 3 years instead of the 2 years. They can't go vice versa, so they can't be more lax, but they definitely can be more strict when it comes to the rules. After sale responsibilities or for the faulty products. If the product you sold turned out to be faulty or doesn't look or work as advertised within the time frame of the legal guarantee, so that is the 2-year warranty, you are responsible for this. By you, it means the manufacturer. In some countries, this can also be the case if you are the manufacturer or importer. So that's pretty good and noteworthy to make because, of course, the manufacturer doesn't manufacture the things in your own local country. Most of the stuff comes from China, let's say, and there are importers or legal importers that basically bring the products from China. And of course, there are some companies involved there that meets the standard of importing the products and the goods into their own countries, or I should say into this country. And definitely it falls on them to respect the warranty for the manufacturer that they are selling the product for. When can your customer claim redress? Okay, so be aware that you are legally bound by any public statements you make about your products, especially through advertisement on or on the labels. So this is really important. Whenever they make false advertisement, they can be a So whenever they make those bold claims on a product, be it on a box or maybe some advertisement material that's been used on the local market before selling their product, they definitely have to stand up. They can't just say something just because it sounds cool and it will get to have more sales, because it has to hold true. Otherwise, they are liable to take the product back and basically give you a full refund because they don't meet the satisfaction of the end consumer. If you are a retailer, your customer can ask for redress under the legal guarantee provided by EU law if an item does not match the product description, so false advertisement, this is definitely it, has different qualities from the model advertised or shown to the client, it is not fit for purpose, either it's a standard purpose or specific purpose ordered by the customer which you have accepted, doesn't show the quality and performance normal in products of the same type, or wasn't installed correctly either by you or by the customer due to shortcomings in the instructions. So as you can see, the rules that they have to abide by are actually very strict, and a lot of the cases they can be responsible for a lot of the cases to take the product back because it doesn't fall into one of these categories. As you can see, even instructions are very important. So a set of instructions into how to use a product definitely is very important, because you as an end consumer, if you do something that is basically wrong or basically not up to standard of the product because you weren't instructed to use it in a certain type of way, let's remind ourselves here of the bad connector on the 4090 that's melting, and that, basically NVIDIA told us, hey, you didn't plug it in all the way, you didn't install it correctly. Well, did you instruct us how to do it correctly? If you didn't, well, maybe some of the guys can send their GPUs back to NVIDIA and basically get a full refund because the instructions are the shortcoming of that product. So once again, this is not me making stuff up. This is actually the EU set of regulations that all the manufacturers have to abide by whenever they're trying to sell their products into the European Union. If you inform your customer that the product you are going to sell has a quality problem, they cannot then claim redress for you about this particular defect. So one workaround for the manufacturers, let's say they have a batch of a 4090 with a problem that's getting the connector to melt. Well, definitely if they tell you this up front, even a small font somewhere that you haven't bothered to read, they could be off the hook from receiving and doing an RMA on that product because they have definitely let you know before you bought the product. Can there be deceptive practices around this? Definitely they can be. But, you have to read the fine print always, especially when it comes to very important and very expensive products that you put your effort and time and money into. What can your customer claim? All right, let's see. Your customers have the right to ask you to do any of the following without any charge for postage, labor, material, etc. So not even the postage can't be charged to you as long as they have to fix it under these conditions. Repair the product, replace the product, reduce the price, or cancel the contract and reimburse them in full. In some countries, the sales contract cannot be canceled if the fault is minor. Example, like, scratches on a CD case. So that's why, once again, I go back and ask you guys to check your local set of rules and regulations for whatever the manufacturers can sell and whatever they are liable for when it comes to RMAs. Alright, repair and or replacement. In most countries, there is a hierarchy of remedies. This means that your customer must firstly request that you repair the product or replace it if repair is not a viable option. Let's say it is too expensive. You must do this within a reasonable time and without significant inconvenience for your customer. So, like in the case with Gamers Nexus, just send it in, have it repaired, send it out, And that's it. You don't have to find all the loopholes in trying to weasel your way out of the RMA, as long as nobody asks you to replace the product. And I don't think that they did. They just wanted to have a small repair on otherwise something that was fairly common, and it was a fairly common point of failure. Price reduction or full refund. Okay, so this is the juicy stuff. Another option for your customer is that you give them a price reduction or a full refund, but only if a repair or replacement is not possible, or would be too expensive given the nature of the product or the defect, would be very inconvenient for the customer, or cannot be completed by your business within a reasonable amount of time. So this is also very important to mention, because if something is not possible, definitely, just by all means, replace the product, give it back to the customer, or maybe just have him receive the full reimbursement for that product, as long as the default falls into your backyard, let's say, as a manufacturer, and you are on the hook for it. So I definitely like the fact that they are telling you here that your business has to do so within a reasonable amount of time. I am kind of looking forward to see if this reasonable amount of time, so this way of telling it does actually mean something. It is certified somewhere. What does it mean to be reasonable? For some people, it could be 2 days. For some people, it could be 2 months. I don't know. Would a company take the shortest route? I don't think so. So it must be stipulated somewhere. Somewhere must be written down what does exactly this reasonable amount of time can and should mean. Additional guarantees. Additional guarantees. You can also offer the consumer an additional commercial guarantee or warranty. This can either be included in the price of the product at or an extra cost. This warranty does not replace the legal guarantee, which is always a minimum of 2 years, and you must inform the customer that this will not affect their rights to the legal guarantee. So of course, whenever you buy extra warranty, no brainer, that's a warranty that's being added on top of the 2 years warranty that you are already receiving for your product. Implementation of the legal guarantees and warranties in each country. So each EU country implements the rules slightly differently. You can read more about how you should implement the legal guarantees and warranties in each EU country via the link below. So right now, here you have a list of all the countries in the EU, which is actually very helpful, that you can basically go through and see whatever differences they have in comparisons to the guideline that's laid down here by the EU. Alright guys, I hope that by now things are a bit more clear to you, and definitely don't let the manufacturers off the hook with faulty products, because in the end it's your hard-earned time and money, and it's definitely a shame and a waste to let them off the hook, because time will move on, and then you will have things like this happen over and over again, where they can just feel that they can do whatever they want and people are still going to buy their products, and that's definitely not cool. Once again guys, check your local rules, don't let them off the hook, and see you guys in the next one. Peace out.